Stamps are in stock and shipping now. The dies will be in about mid-month. So about mid-November is when the dies will be here. But I have samples of the dies, my production samples that I can show you. So as we start with the first stamp set, this is a 3x3. It is called In the Circle, all right? So we have two different stamps that are boxes that are called In the Box. And this guy's called In the Circle because you are now kind of doing your list, or I mean, I wouldn't put everything on a list in my circle. I wouldn't, but you could. But shape a circle as opposed to you know, a rectangle or square, what have you. Now, a lot of you, some of you, are familiar with my friend Amy that does lots of work for me. She does a lot of sourcing and product development with me, but this was her genius idea, which I thought was just so smart. When you look at this stamp, do you see it looks like almost a bowling ball for just one finger? Do you see that little hole right there? That is actually a hole in the polymer, so the stamp itself. That is a reference point, so you know where the top of the shape is. You know that's the top of the circle. So it makes it easier for you. It's kind of your little placeholder when you're stamping. So that comes into place from a couple of different perspectives. So there's your circle. There are two horizontal lines. They could be vertical, I think. You could mask and make one vertical. I think they're a little bit long to go vertical, but there are two horizontal lines that you can use to divide your circle. And I'll show you an example in a minute. So one is short and would go more up here, and one is a little bit longer and it would go about halfway. If you are dividing your circle, you have a couple of different icons then that you could use either in the top or bottom of your circle. So you have a little flower, a star, you have star solid, star outline, a heart, solid heart outline, a thumbtack, a pencil, a little house, and a camera, and a smiley face and a sad face. So this whole stamp was inspired by this project that Lorelei did, one of our design team members. So she did this back in August, and I saw her project, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is so fun. We do In the Box, but we could do In the Circle. And so I reached out and I said, hey, Laura, what would you think if I created a stamp using exactly what you had done here? And she said, absolutely, because of course I asked her, right? It was her idea. And she said, oh my gosh, absolutely. Hello, Miss Vicki Booten. Hi, nice to see you, my friend. All right, so because Laura lives in Canada and I live in Utah, I don't have her project to show you, but I printed it out. And that you can see on the website for that In the Circle project. So even though she did this project in August, the stamp didn't exist in August, but the stamp was inspired by her project. So when we talk about the little horizontal line, there's your horizontal line. And the way that she kind of did it is she was doing kind of a spread here about the different things that were happening on different days in her week. So she paired the circle with the my handwritten days of the week. And she just kind of did that fun little project that way. So in the circle, now as we're making our list, when I am making a list and I want to write a little bit more about an item on the list, we'll have now another fun shape to use in the circle. All right, that is the first, and that is a 3x3 stamp set. All right, next up, we have this. So right as of now, well, actually we have more planned. I just remembered. When Amy and I were together in January of 2024, we planned out, I want to say probably 10 releases, planned out like 10 releases of the mini icon stamps. So this is the 6th mini icon stamp released this year. This one is the Mini Icons Coffee and Tea. So a little tea bag, a little teapot, maybe a little percolator there, like the old-fashioned diner coffee. Those of you that like to steep your tea with the little, thing that you and put the tea in, and then that one, steeper, I guess that's called. Some coffee beans, a little coffee shop, coffee pot, a to-go cup, And then, you know, if you're having maybe a Slurpee, no, that looks like a Slurpee. But if you're having maybe a cold latte or something, anyhow. So fun little set there with mini icons, coffee and tea. And as always, there is a definition. So mini icon stamps, 3x3, always 12 little icons, and then a definition. Caffeine, the answer to every question before 10 a.m. And some days for me, it's more like the answer to every question before 3 p.m., right? Right. Okay, so there we go. Mini icons, coffee, and tea. Oh, I forgot to show you. It was in my stack. This is the metal die that coordinates with the new in the circle. So super basic, but you'll notice it is a wonky shape because that is hand drawn. So that is hand drawn to go right along with it, and that's your little die. So you don't have to fussy cut your circles if you are wanting to kind of turn your little stamp into a die cut. Okay. Next up, now this is actually a request that came out of one of our listing sessions, and I want to say it's probably this one. We started this list in August, and when I say we started it, I mean we started it because I didn't finish it in August. I actually finished it today because 3 of my traveler's notebooks need to get shipped tomorrow to be photographed. And as I was going through all the lists, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't finish this one. Perfect timing because I had a new stamp set to kind of finish out my list. Currently has been around, this is one of the very first stamps that I did, one of the very first stamps released. So this was probably, I don't know, maybe 3 years. This is probably 2.5, 3 years. This is the original, currently still well-loved, right? So the idea behind this, you have the currently prompt, and then you have 23 little prompts. So as you are making a list, this could be things that you're currently watching, discovering, listening, enjoying, celebrating, considering, you know, and goes on. There are 23 options. When we were working on this list one Saturday, in the chat, there was a lively discussion about, hey, Layle, would you ever considering adding more prompts besides just what are available on this set? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And so you guys started throwing out like all of these suggestions. How about this one and this one and this one and this one? And that is how the currently 2 stamp came to be. 32 more prompts. So the exact same font as the original, the exact same size as the original, but now you have 23 and 32 is what, 55 prompts to do your currently. So like I said, this list was partially completed. I think, I ended at drinking. So I finished it today. I added visiting, creating, wearing, and admiring. And then I actually went up to the top and added one more, needing. So whole idea behind those 2 stamp sets is basically just a snapshot in time of what you or someone else in your life is kind of doing. I did these religiously with our first child, Jack. For his first year, every couple of months, I would do something like this. Now I did it on computer because back then I didn't even know what a stamp was, let alone try to, stamp. But I did it on computer. And I have every 3 months for him, something like this, what he was doing, what his interests were. Okay, come on. He's 3 months old. What his interests are. Laying on his back and looking at a black and white thing, right? But it's kind of fun to do something like this for the different people in your life. If you have young kids or older kids, or you have grandkids or littles or nieces or nephews, this would even be a really fun type of list to do with school kids, right? And here, you guys know, you don't need all the fun things. I mean, the fun things are fun, but you don't need those things to do something like this. So one of our little time capsule snapshots with, now that one had both the currently, which has been around for a while, and now the brand new with the November release, the currently 2 stamp set. That's a 4x4. That is a 4x4. I know Joe Disney fan said you can never have too many currently prompts. This is great. And what I loved about this, you guys, was such a collaboration. It should probably say here, in collaboration with the Squirrel Squad, because you guys gave me so many of these suggestions on what you wanted to see. Admiring, collecting, asking, visiting, dreaming, focusing on, buying, wearing, craving, helping, making, seeing, working on, growing, dreading, right? Creating, cooking. That's what I will never use. You know that about me. I don't cook. Anticipating, documenting, traveling, looking forward to. So just fun, right? Fun, fun. Nancy said, great idea for gift giving. The currently stamp, Nancy? I'm not I think. Oh, no. Okay, I know. Nancy's telling like the currently stamp? The pouches. Yes, the pouches. Okay, next up, we have Goalgetter. All right, you know where this is taking us, right? We are getting close to the end of the year, which I can't even believe I'm saying that, right? Do we really believe we're already in November? What, we have maybe 7 weeks left of 2023. But as we are starting to think about a new year, for some of us, we make lists of things that we want to focus on or goals. We're not necessarily going to call them resolutions because in my head, resolution does not have a good connotation because if it's a resolution, it never happens for me. But whole idea about this stamp set, 6x8 Goalgetter 33-piece stamp set that you can use to keep track of your goals if you'd like. Now, we'll use this. We'll do something with this either at the end of December or beginning of January, and then we will use it throughout the year. But it also doesn't have to necessarily be for setting goals. You have real life. Get it, girl. I did it. Can I get a do-over? Let's try that again. If I knew then what I know now. Believe it, achieve it, one day at a time. Challenge accepted. Keep it simple. Better luck next time. Little trophy, a little prize ribbon. Doing my best. Proud of this. One step forward. Out of focus. Anyhow, you see, there are lots of stamps there that definitely work with that theme Goalgetter, but then they also work for lots of other things as well. So very excited about this one because I've done well with the things I wanted to focus on this year. 4 of the 5. One, I failed colossally. Colossally? What? That's not the right word. One I have just failed on, and failed with a big old capital F. F, fail in a circle. And that's just health. And that's, yeah. It'll be on my list again next year. Maybe one of these days I'll be a healthy person. Not this year. Although I shouldn't say that. There's still 7 weeks left. I guess I could turn over a new leaf now, right? But we're almost Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then, yeah, that's probably there. I can always come up with a reason. Anyhow, so that is the 4th of the 5 new stamps in the November release. And then we have Poe Alpha. If you've been with me for a while, you know that when it comes to alpha stamp sets, I name them after pets in our family. Poe Alpha, Poe was our last kitty. And we'd had him for a very long time, and Poe passed away during the pandemic on Jack's birthday. So it was, it's never easy to lose a pet, but now Poe lives on forever in a stamp set. This is a 117-piece stamp set. As you'll notice, alpha, right? Upper and lower case. Upper and lower case, but look at upper and lower case in 2 different sizes. So a lot of fun can be had with this particular stamp set. Now, I mean, you say fun, you're like, it's an alphabet stamp set. But look at this project that Laura did. Again, Lorelei from the design team, she just posted this in posted this in the Layle by Mail Facebook group the other day. It is also now shown on the website with that stamp set, but look how fun. She's just documenting her week, and she just picked some words, right? Rest, food, show, work, and days. And she's just kind of doing a little bit of documenting about her week using that stamp set. So I thought that was really fun. Just a really fun way. She made a list, right? But a little bit of a different way. She's got a full-size photo, which we always love to see. All right. Hello, Gabby. Nice to see you. All right. So those are the 5 new stamp sets. And I said with the 5 new stamp sets, we had 3 new metal dies. So we saw the circle, and just that is that's my production sample. That's why it just looks a little plain and Jane, not in a package. Those are shipping. The dies are shipping mid-November. So the 2 other dies, a die to go along with In the Box. All right. So you've In the Box stamp set, very popular stamp set that's been around for a while. For probably a year, I was hand drawing my own boxes, double layered, when we were listing. And somebody finally said, well, can we have a stamp like that? I'm like, well, no, can't you just, oh, yes, yes, we can do a stamp like that. So In the Box, which has been around for a while, but now you have the coordinating die set that goes with it. And because we were working on dies, it only made sense to do the same thing for In the Box 2. So the In the Box 2 stamp set was released in September, and there is now a coordinating die set that goes along with that. All right, so all 5 stamps will, and then those in the currently, are shipping now. They are in stock and shipping now, and those 3 new dies are shipping about mid-November. We should be seeing mid-November.